But I know what I'm going to say next is going to shock you. The Young Bucks actually had a good match. Butcher and Blade.
You really are sick.
Well, but listen, but hear me out. Butcher and Blade get paid by MJF to take out the Young Bucks, right? And Bunny's along, and MJF's on color, who JR introduced as Matthew Jacob Friedman. And of course, obviously, he wants to get even for the Bucks tossing him in the fucking pool. At least it's an excuse for him to run his mouth out there, but I didn't think they made as much of that as they could have. But to me, this was the best Bucks match on television because Blade and Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker, whatever, they can't do all of that flippy, floppy bullshit. They're actual heels, and the match made some kind of sense. And Butcher and Blade, they're not a top team, but they're certainly better than Dark Order. So, I mean, this had to go through a break also. But the Bucks won clean with their finish, not 72 false finishes, and they got over a mid-card heel team that you could tell who the heels were. And so it was actually a decent fucking match for the Bucks that made sense, and somebody got over. And then, of course, they try to get the fucking heat, and then here comes Olivier and Paige. I don't know why Adam Page is a fucking drunk, but I thought it was a cute spot here, hold my beer, and then he flips over the top rope and hits the lariat and then gets the beer back. But apart from that, I don't know why they want this guy to be a drunk or whatever the fuck.
It's the only thing they've done to get him, I shouldn't say get him over, because he was already over with that fan base, but get him over with me, a new viewer to these guys. I didn't think Adam Page brought much to the table those first few weeks. Same moves in every match. There was nothing other than him coming out with a bandana around his neck that really distinguished him from anyone else. Now he has some personality. Now I am curious where they're going with him.
But does he have to be a drunk instead of being like a fucking Steve Austin beer drinking guy? Like, hey, I'm having beer, but I'm not drunk. I don't know. Because he's coming out being actually kind of half fucking sloshed, is he not?
That's certainly the appearance they're trying to give.
Well, anyway, but at least, like you said, at least he's in something.
I see. I hated that video they did before the match. I'm not a big fan of the vignette video that is clearly fake.
Well, yeah, I was just skipping over that because it's just accepted that, if this was the Mafia, would they have caught Vincent the Chin Gigante going to make a payoff to fucking, Fat Tony Salerno for somebody to get whacked?
Wow.
And there's a camera there.
Very good. Very good that you know some of these names here. I won't comment on those gentlemen, but I will say that I hated that, and it was something they did throughout the show, just these vignettes that are professionally shot. Sometimes, the camera changes so you could tell it's so professional that it takes me out of it. But the other thing is, since they debuted the Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker, and I'll even call them by their Christian name, the Butcher and the Blade, they have done nothing but jobs every single time they're on TV. The Butcher has a great look. The Blade guy, I know you really liked the match. I wasn't as high on it as you. There's one thing that it just took me out of it right away, and everyone does it, but to me it was egregious in this match, and I don't know the proper way to call it, but where the guy goes for the punch, but it's nowhere close to a punch. It's almost like an overhand pitch, and the other guy ducks under it.
Yeah, and the up and over.
The up and over. It was so often and so clearly, like it wasn't even close to hitting the guy. It was, you're going for it to miss it. I didn't like that. And again, these guys.
Well, look, I didn't say this was Steamboat and Youngblood against fucking Slaughter and Cornette. I said it was one of the best Young Bucks matches I've seen just because it made sense. But, it's got its limitations.
What do you think about the potential for the Young Bucks versus Omega and Page? The direction it looks like they're going.
Well, that'll be a complete fucking clusterfuck. They'll do every goddamn move that anybody's ever done, and Page will do all of his that he does in every match that he never misses, and makes them all look so easy that he's devalued all of them. Like that backflip, he does a backflip off the top rope and lands on his feet on the floor, and he does it in every match just to make sure that everybody knows that it must be just easy, instead of making that is the big show bump, the big show move. And then Olivier and the Bucks will do everything they've ever done before, and it'll be a goddamn mess. And sooner or later, Paige will turn on Olivier, and I don't fucking know. It's Omega's involved, so what the fuck?
But what do you think about what I'm saying? They bring in the Butcher and the Blade to be this heel tag team with the Bunny, and they've done nothing but jobs each and every week. Why should the viewer care about them?
Well, there's no reason, because they don't do matches to get anybody over. They just do matches for people to have matches, and they assume that the fans think that they're over ahead of time. There's been no. Practically no. I think there's been one or two. I get mixed up whether they're on NXT or AEW sometimes, but except for Finn Balor last week, there's really no squash matches or just get over matches on either of the programs. I want to see a star come out and look good and kick the shit out of somebody in 4 minutes, do it and get out of there and look good. And the other guy, one tackle pancake at your fucking match, pal. Because that's the way guys get over. And nobody gets over. They just have competitive match. Everybody is competitive with everybody else, except for the heels who, whenever they get heat on somebody, the baby faces come back instantly and are just fine.